Welcome to today's news briefing to inform all of you and the communities you serve about the release of the final Los Angeles River Master Plan.
The LA River was originally channelized, and by channelized, if you look out here, you see this wide 400-foot concrete structure that's designed to carry the floodwaters away. It was necessary to protect communities and people as Los Angeles developed, but we recognize it can do more than just provide flood protection. So now, 20 years after the original master plan, Supervisor Kuhl and Solis spearheaded a motion in 2016 to update the plan for even broader community needs. We now have nearly 1 million people living within a mile of the river. And it's essential that we elevated those voices and those community concerns we all have. We are now delivering a plan that reimagines the river as a complex system in which people, places, and the environment are encouraged to coexist, intermingle, and thrive. The plan focuses on multi-benefit approaches, solutions to address flood risk, environmental health, increased open space and access, and recreational opportunities.
The plan is an extensive effort in assembling a community of a steering committee with very diverse and unique perspectives, extensive community engagement along the entire length of the LA River, and very thorough data analysis that clearly shows what the different needs are at different points along the river. And the result is a plan that categorizes everything into 9 goals that are some of the issues you would expect around water and open space and ecosystems, but also addresses things like arts and culture, access, and most importantly, equity.
Why this master plan is important is because our organization and our work really focuses in the Southeast LA region. That's from Vernon all the way to Linwood. That's the way that we as an organization define SELA. And our work is really uplifting the nonprofits, right? But also ensuring that as all of these investments, as all of these plans are carried out and developed, that the community voice is at the center of what is really going to influence and drive, the master plan, the work, the implementation. I think one of the things that we try to highlight for folks, right, is that in every indicator in the county, whether it's air quality, whether it's health, whether it's park access, SELA always is the hot red zone. And that is an injustice to our community. And then so we look forward to continuing to work with our colleagues at the county, the supervisors, with all of the elected officials here in the region to really make sure that as we implement this master plan, right, that it's first and foremost to the benefit of our community and that it becomes accessible to our community.
My name's Sissy Trin. I'm the executive director of SICA, and we do organizing, policy advocacy, and youth leadership in Chinatown. It's the biggest issue statewide, housing and homelessness, right? And I think the first it was just, let's have a conversation. Let's brainstorm. Let's come up with some ideas and see what sticks, right? Like we're not gonna solve the problem, but we can't do anything if we don't acknowledge the problem exists. And so I'm actually really proud of what actually came about, because I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, this is probably the first infrastructure plan that even acknowledges the issue and wants to proactively address the issue, which is huge, right? And I think it's the first plan nationwide, because I've done a lot of conferences and people are always like, what's the solution? And I get to point to the River Master Plan as one example. And so it outlines a ton of different strategies, but one of the first and most important is to not just acknowledge the issue, but identify what are the threats. Every community has different needs, different priorities, and different strategies. So it doesn't come up with one strategy, a one-size-fits-all solution. It gives a bucket of different tools that each community can work with the county, with public works to identify and implement for their specific neighborhood.